Hey everybody, so we've got a new patch coming out. It hasn't hit just yet, but basically coming from the main Facebook page, this is what they've released for the changes. I'm here on the Reddit page. You can always go to the Reddit page and view it yourself, kind of go from there. Obviously there's some debate and discussion taking place with the whole Halley side of it. Halley is going to get some changes. Obviously she is a mid-row damager. They're going to change her ultimate where now it swipes at a target area and it deals multi-hit magic damage and multiple Soul Scythes. You know, it's gonna do damage. If her hit points goes below 1, it can't, so it'll stop at least at 1 hit point. And when it ends, she's gonna regen anywhere about 25% of the damage dealt as hit points, up to a max of 50%. Now, obviously, one of the things, if you've got Halley or you've played against a Halley's, you know that sometimes when she goes to ultimate, it kills herself. Because she's sitting there just getting damage. Now they're making it where she can at least get her ult off. It doesn't, she doesn't die during it. So that's a good thing. You know, obviously it's hard to argue with whether it's great or not. Basically her green spell basically, it's going to deal magic to a single person. And it also deals a small area effect damage. I'm pulling her up right now on my phone just because of the way life goes on. And so this is her Soul Strike. Now currently it increased her crit strike rate, but they're going to get rid of that, and so now it appears they're just going to make it do a small AE damage. So I don't really know what to think about that, but we'll kind of deal with that. The blue now, the Reap of Faith, they're changing it from her Soul Dash. Now she's going to dash forward and she's going to pull an enemy to her and deal magic with, you know, a sword, a swing of her scythe, and then she's going to deal damage and jump back, but she can't be damaged during that time. Currently right now she would deal magic, she would jump forward, deal magic in a fan area, and then she'd jump back and she wouldn't take any damage. So now they're removing that AE component that was from that and that tonal area, but she's making them bring someone forward, and that's going to put some interesting play, especially for midliners. You know, she pulls some of those squishy midliners to the front. You know, she grabs a Lucifer. I mean, that could be bad real quick, or, you know, for that team, or your healer or someone else. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Her passive hasn't changed any. You know, she's still going to have the whole Soul Scythe going on, so that's not a big issue. Now, they are adding a new legendary hero. I don't even know. Rengoku. I don't know. Sorry, guys. Maybe since I'm saying a video on it, I'll get to name him. You know, we'll just call him Ringy. How's that? Ringy. We'll call him Ringy instead of Rengoku. Or we can call him Clown Boy. It doesn't matter. But anyways, it's a legendary hero. It's another legendary marksman, which is really kind of weird when you look at where the meta has been. That they've introduced kind of 2 back-to-back marksman characters. So, is what it is. So, physical crit strike. He's in a hero group with a bullet time. Really going to be interesting to see how that creates a whole different field, obviously, with your Sky City kind of stuff. You know, obviously, Lucifer's kind of needed now. It's just going to be interesting how it goes. But basically, his ultimate's an elemental strike. Shares his passive effect with his team. He teleports. He's going to deal a crit strike and then some AoE damage. And during the ultimate, he's immune to crowd control. And he gets increased armor and magic resist. And then he goes back to his spot. So, what the range is on that, we don't know. What the damage is, we don't know. I mean, we're just going to have to wait and see. His green skill is throws a blast scroll shuriken at 2 enemies. It deals damage and it makes them, gives them a mark. And then when the targets in them take a physical critical strike, so again a crit team, it sets off an AoE splash damage and increases his own strength. Again, we're going to assume how many times it stacks, we don't know. But again, you're looking at a crit team with him. You know, what kind of damage can you do on a crit team with him? It can get ugly quick. Blue is Iron Stance. He enters a counter-strike state. When an attack is received, he immediately casts a substitution spell, and he throws a shuriken at the source of the attack. Now, is this going to be a shuriken like his that marks the person? Don't know. A substitution spell? I don't know what that is. We're just going to have to wait and see. And finally, his passive is his shurikens cause basic attacks to randomly trigger a wind, wood, fire, or earth effect, giving extra attack effects. And so when all 4 elements are assembled, it's like the Avatar, I guess. Elemental strikes cast automatically. So that being the top thing on the ultimate, I don't know. That's going to be pretty interesting. I really don't know how this is going to play out. So high damage, obviously. Don't know about the survivability, but this is going to go huge again into that whole burst meta. So we're just going to have to kind of wait and see how that plays out. Now, Karna is getting Awakening, changing up some of her skills, obviously. So when when you're casting skills automatic, there's a chance to trigger a Magic Brilliance effect. This is her Awaken skill. Cast the ultimate will also trigger the Magical Brilliance. So basically, we don't know how much of a buff it is. We're gonna have to wait and see. Green skills, Magic Burst. Again, it's going to cause magic damage to enemies. Leaves a snare on the ground that causes damage continually. That's her Halo. And finally, her ultimate is going to summon 2 beams of life to hit people with the lowest hit points within the range. So obviously, they're kind of changing that up a little bit. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But it's got a lot of hope for a lot of Karna users out there about her being a really great mage into the whole mage grouping now, especially on the free side. Free hero Laura is getting Awakening. The only thing that looks like they're changing is she's going to raise her own ability power during the battle. And when she dies, she does damage. I don't know how much that is, so we'll have to wait and see. But, I think people were hoping for a little bit more on her. I don't know. She gets some use with some people. Some people love her. Other people can't stand her because of her tanking ability against non-magic users. So, Subterra. Now, when your teammate helps you defeat somebody, you can give them a like, and because we like to be liked, you can then look on your friend's card and see how many people have liked them. I guess that shows you how helpful they are with other people, or if they don't help people at all, or people just don't like them. It doesn't matter. Now they're adding elixir drops to proving grounds and proving ground privileges. Nothing major here, just you're going to be able to get some more EXP, which is always nice. Beast Souls. They're changing the Frostfire 4-piece effect. It's going to raise the time on it to 15 seconds from 10 seconds for defense against the disabling effect, which is nice. It's going to improve some of the skill, when you see little pop-ups for what that means. And supposedly they're going to improve the Deadly Scorpion set regarding the description of what's actually disabled, what it is against. So you actually know for now. Players, when you finally mine out a mine, because, there's nothing worse than when your allies don't finish off a mine. They leave like 800 on a level 9 mine. Well, now when you do that, you get a little bonus reward for that. In Throne Wars, they're changing the method for getting Gold and Shadow Essence because some people weren't getting it through fighting. They're doing some changes to the Alliance Tree of Life. I haven't done a video on it yet. I'll do one on it. It just hasn't been very big for me. But basically on how you can see where it is and how quickly you can get to it. And then they've got a few improvements. I'm interested to see how they're going to improve the Burning Helmet in its current state for the Orange 2 equipment, but we'll leave that alone. So that's it. Some changes coming down. Obviously, a new Legendary Hero, modifying of a Legendary Hero, and 2 Awakenings, plus a few changes. It's gonna have some effects on certain aspects of the game for sure. Definitely with the addition of another burst damaging AE marksman guy, in a bullet time team. So let me know your thoughts. I hope this helps out for those that aren't aware of it, and I will talk to you all later. Have a great one.